We were fortunate over a couple of years of this study that some researchers at Queen's University also were using the G-force trackers in their players' helmets. So that allowed us to conduct this analysis where we were looking at players on both sides of the ball, so kickoff and kick return in those games where Queens is playing Western. And we could see the difference between a player hitting another player. That's where I called the hammer and the nail. So the person delivering the hit versus the person receiving the hit. And we could see if, the person delivering their hit had this amount of linear acceleration or rotational velocity on their head impact, what was going on in the person receiving it. What we noticed was, especially on kickoffs, regardless of whether you are hitting or receiving, your kinematics, so your linear acceleration and rotational velocity and rotational acceleration, were much higher than in other plays. And that is likely due to the fact that on kickoff, especially with the kickoff that is currently performed now in U Sports and in Canadian football, is you've got guys running down the field. They've got like a 40-yard run up before anyone makes contact with them. So they've got a full head of steam. You've got the defensive guys who can't get as much of a run up because they have to prepare themselves to be blocking for the returner. So they're kind of taking the brunt of that force. So because you have such high speeds and so many people moving in such a tight area, that's, I think, why we're seeing some of those high numbers. And there've been some other studies examining the kinematics between play types, and even in American football, college football especially, who still, I believe, do that classic kickoff. They're seeing that same thing where you have those bigger closing distances between players, allows for more force production and then higher velocities and accelerations on head impact.